we're breaking down a really startling claim coming from Yemen's Houthi armed forces, a ballistic missile attack on Israel. Now, this would be a massive geopolitical statement on its own, but it comes with this bizarre, head-scratching twist that kind of changes everything. Let's dive right in.
So this right here, this is the core of it all. A spokesman is on record announcing what they're calling their first military attacks of this specific kind. And notice the wording, a barrage of ballistic missiles. That's not a small claim. This is really the central piece of the puzzle we're looking at today.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. Who exactly is making this announcement, and what precisely are they saying they did?
Now, this isn't just some rumor floating around on the internet. Nope, this claim is coming directly from a spokesman for the group that calls itself the Yemeni Armed Forces, who, are widely known as the Houthis. They are publicly and very directly taking credit for this.
And they're getting really specific here. They're not just saying, oh, we conducted an attack. They're talking about ballistic missiles. They're talking about aiming for military-sensitive sites. And they're even specifying the location, southern Israel. You don't throw around details like that unless you want people to take you very, very seriously.
Of course, with any claim this big, you gotta ask, why? What's the reason? What's their declared motive for doing this?
So they're framing this as an act of solidarity, not just some isolated event. The spokesman makes it a point to say this is being done in support of others in the region. That immediately positions this whole thing as part of a much bigger picture.
And they are not being shy about who their friends are. They explicitly name Iran and what they refer to as resistance fronts in Lebanon, Iraq, and Palestine. So they're laying their cards on the table, painting a very clear picture of the alliance they see themselves in.
And right here, this is their stated angle. It's not being presented as some open-ended conflict. They've actually set a very clear condition for stopping. They're basically saying, here's our off-ramp. The operations stop when the aggression against this whole network of allies stops.
Okay, so let's talk about the timing of all this, because that's presented as another key detail that suggests this wasn't just some random act.
See, they're trying to paint this picture of a big, coordinated push with everyone acting at once. By saying their operation coincides with others, they're signaling a unified front. But, and this is a huge but, this is where the whole story just goes completely off the rails. After laying out this whole military claim, listing the allies, giving the justification, the statement concludes with something that just makes you do a double take. It frankly makes you question everything you just heard.
The date on the statement is March 28th, 2026. Yeah, 2026, you heard that right, years into the future. The speaker clearly states a date that hasn't happened yet, which just throws this giant question mark over the entire announcement.
So what on earth is going on here? Why would you date a military claim in the future? Is it a typo? A really, really bad typo? Is it symbolic? Or is it meant to send a completely different kind of message? One that isn't about what just happened, but maybe about what's to come? So, let's just for a second put that incredibly weird date to one side and look at the commitment they're making. What are they actually pledging to do in the long run?
They're doubling down. Future date or not, they are making it crystal clear that these operations, they claim, will continue until their allies' objectives are met. It's a clear declaration of a sustained campaign, no matter what the calendar says.
So, where does this all leave us? A claim of a ballistic missile attack from Yemen on Israel would be a massive escalation, a real game changer. But when that claim is dated in the future, what does that even mean? Is it a threat, a bizarre piece of propaganda, a warning shot? That's the unsettling question this announcement leaves hanging in the air.